Next question. I'm about to accept a position across the country after changing the IT field I work in. I've just been accepted for my first job, and in this type of position, with the amount of responsibility I'll have, and I'm having some issues and some hesitations on if I'll be good enough. Have you ever been in a position before where you tried to bite off more than you can chew professionally? How do you approach it? And is there ever a time where you think it's best to bow out and quit? And if so, how do you know when that point is?
So, actually, most people get hired into leadership positions they haven't been in before. The SEAL teams is all about that. You get promoted, you do that leadership job, and just as you're getting the hang of it, you get promoted again. So there's nothing abnormal about feeling that you aren't quite ready for a leadership position. And the reason that some people fail when they get to these positions that they're not ready for is because they're nervous that they're going to show that. And so they try to hide it. They're afraid to ask questions. They're afraid to say they don't know. So they end up looking scared and stupid, which equates to looking incompetent. And I mean, even just with the beloved captain, they actually kicked off. There's a reason this guy included those statements in there, that he asked questions and asked for guidance and admitted his mistakes. There's a reason that he was beloved. That is one of the reasons. And so that's what you got to do, is be okay with it. Don't try and hide it. Now, to bow out and quit, I have not done that, but there's no reason to, because if I don't know how to do something, I have no problem asking for help up and down the chain of command. Up and down the chain of command. Nothing wrong with that. And I've said this before, that what you're feeling, person that asked this question, what you're feeling that you aren't good enough and that you don't want to blow it, those are actually signs of humility. And it's okay. Those are good. I've felt those feelings my whole career, and I still feel them now. And when I was in the SEAL teams, I would over-prepare for things. And it wasn't because I thought I was going to dominate. It was because I thought I was going to fall short. And even I was telling you, I prepared for the podcast all yesterday. I thought I was good, literally had printed out my notes, woke up this morning, worked out, and I was like, no, I'm not ready. I over-prepare for this. Why? Because in my mind, I'm feeling that I'm going to blow it.
Yeah, bro.
And I don't like that.
Bro, there's a thing. It's like a for real thing. It's called imposter syndrome. You ever heard of that?
No.
Bro, it's this, and I think, you know what I think? I think everyone has it in whether a teeny tiny bit or a lot. It's where it's basically you feel this. You feel like on the inside, like I'm really not this good. You can be like champion of the world. On the inside, you're like, it's just a matter of time before they find me out. You know, I don't know. I don't deserve to be here or whatever.
That I wish more people would have that, because there's a lot of people that I know that have been in leadership positions that feel that they have the divine right to be there.
A lot of times if they'll have it, they'll behave in that way.
Oh, they absolutely do. That's why they fail.
That's crazy.
So, rehash, as always, bottom line, be humble. Study and learn what you can, ask questions, and if you don't know something, admit it. Now, I had to make this note, and I'm cautious to even say this, but I do have to say it. Asking questions doesn't just mean putting your ignorance on clear display all the time, okay? When you ask questions, make sure you are asking thoughtful, meaningful questions. In fact, if you can find out the answer on your own, do that. If it's something that you can refer back to and you can look up and you can go back and you can check out the org chart, you can see where that department is, or you can find out who's running that project without having to ask that question, do that. Because contrary to popular belief, there actually is, in fact, such a thing as a stupid question. And you can get away with it sometimes, so you don't need to be hyper paranoid about it. But you also, part of leadership is confidence, and up and down. So you got to have some confidence, and your people have to have some confidence in you. And if you don't know anything, and you can't figure out some portions of that on your own, that's not a good sign.
Right.
Because I just expect if you're going to be in charge of me, well, that you couldn't look that up. You didn't review this before you came in here. I know you don't know my job, but you should at least know what the requirements of my job are. You should at least know what the outcomes at a strategic level of my job are, right? You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. Fully. So you don't have to go in there and be overly humble. You don't have to go in there and be overtly blank, wide open with what you don't know. Because again, I was cautious to make this note because this doesn't. You should feel comfortable enough saying, "Hey, I don't know how to do this," or "Hey, can you explain that the way that works to me? Can you explain what this project, what this project entails?" There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you go into a room and you accidentally ask a question of something that everybody legitimately should know, you're gonna look stupid.
Right. That's a mistake.
That's a mistake.
Yeah.
And so don't do that. It's okay. Be humble. Ask questions, but ask thoughtful questions, meaningful questions that you don't know because it would be pretty difficult for you to know the answer.
Yeah. It kind of seems obvious when you say it out loud where you're not going to know everything.
No.
So that makes sense. But bro, you got to know something.
You
got to be there for a reason. You can't be like, "Hey, I don't know nothing. I shouldn't be here."
And that's another thing from the beloved captain where he says for a few days he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Guess what? If you can observe for a few days, you're probably going to answer a bunch of questions just from observation and taking notes and getting back and maybe conferring with your trusted agent or your senior enlisted guy or your superintendent. You can confer directly with them and build that relationship while you're garnering information. Yeah, don't be that guy.
Try not to.
Yes, try not to.